Good day all, good evening all. This is a video actually asking for assistance, not psychological assistance, not assistance as in I'm hungry, I want food, not that kind of assistance, not charity assistance, but assistance is standing up for some fuck shit that been going on for some time now, which is this electronic harassment program or whatever it is, right? I don't know if there's anybody in Trinidad and Tobago experiencing this or anywhere else in the world experiencing this, and that is what I need help to do. How do I actually go about addressing that in a proper way, right? So if there's anybody that can reach out to me, 1-868-755-1649, if there's anybody in the world who could reach out to me to assist with this fuck shit thing and this remote viewing bullshit, I would appreciate your assistance, right? Because people don't believe me when I talk about it, and it's happening day in, day out. Up to when I'm in the bathroom, there's freaking remote viewing going on, and people know if my leg shaved, when my leg shaved, when my vagina is shaved, when my vagina is not shaved. People know that details about me, right? When I'm in bed, when I'm in the shower, what I'm going to wear, everything, right? That is the extent to which this bullshit going, and it needs to stop, right? So, I would like assistance with this thing, and with my how regard to my heart, I know the difference between anxiety / the feeling like if I get a heart attack than if people trying to make me into some robotic fuck shit, right? And I've explained the situation what went on since 2022 with regard to that and everything. I don't know if there's a God, right? But if there is a God, he would have seen everything that played out. But I assume there's a God, because if there wasn't a God, I wouldn't have been here, right? So this bullshit has been going on since 2022, right? And I would appreciate assistance in treating with this stupidness, right? Remote viewing, right? People knowing or viewing you, right, from a distance, right? Knowing every single detail about you, down to your very last thought, right? Down to your thought, right? And knowing your immediate next thought after your thought, right? And trying to manipulate your thoughts, right? That's the extent to which this thing going. Is crazy, right? The extent of crazy, this is, you all would not understand the extent of evil and crazy this thing is, right? So what do you do? Use the tone voices of people close to you. So they would use the tones, right? The tone of or the actual voice of people, friends, whoever it is, anybody close to you. Use their voice, play it in your head, negative things, so that this would drive wedges between people, right? Wedges between family, friendships, all these things, right? For example, I'll give an example of what is going on, right? So one of the voices, they keep being like, you will hurt or you will hate, either way, both have hurt, right? You will hurt or you will hate, right? And then they're playing the sound of my mother crying, right? That is the extent. So they're using phrases, attaching it to sound. So when I hear that sound now, I automatically think of my mom. And listen to how this going. When I hear that phrase, you will hurt, and then they play my mom's crying, right? Or you will hate, right? Because the whole point is to drive me to get to kill my parents or whatever. That was the whole point of that shit, right? So they would play that phrase using whatever technology, you will hate or hurt, right? And then they would play the sound of her crying, so I automatically say, hey, we'll connect that to my mom. So then that sentence becomes complete, right? You will hurt or hate that person, right? That is how this going. And that is how it been going throughout with whoever. And like I said, they remove all, when I say, well, normal, sensible thoughts, they left lust in my head, right? They left lust in my head and keep playing shit regarding my father about this, right? That is the fucking incest shit that they want continuing, right? That is why I am battling this freaking bullshit for people who do not understand, right? That is why I am battling hard with this friction bullshit that people do not understand, right? Forces that want incest to continue, forces that want incest in families or to promote that, forces that want incest, pornography, all those things, right? Abortion clinics. I've been battling these things from A to freaking Z, right? People, they using the electronic technology, poking at my wombs and saying this is dirty knowledge, right? That is the extent to which this is going, right? They are using the technology to poke at my womb, saying this, meaning my womb, is dirty knowledge. Forget the fact that 24/7 they keep calling me stink, dirty, whatever, right? Well, dirty is the word, right? Dirty. I don't know if politics go behind it, or if it's a Hindu thing, if it's just dirty behind it, if it's a Vedic thing, if it's a Christian thing, if it's a Orisha thing, if it's a Rasta thing. I don't know if it's a white man thing, if it is a Chinese thing, if it is a Trinidadian thing, I don't know. But the words that constantly 24/7 that they calling me is dirty, right? Dirty. No problem with that. Fine, right? As I said, I will continue reading that book, and at the end of it, I'll still be here. And I don't know if after that you all will still consider me dirty, right? But anyhow, right, so that was one of the examples that they keep doing. So this battle, I don't know how long it's going to last, right? But I will continuing that book and then leave that system, right? So anyway, this topic is about being angry for the right reasons, which is one of the ways to battle these voices. As I said, just curse them out. Become angry at them because you have a right to become angry at them, right? Become angry at them because you have a right to become angry at them. So that being said, I would like assistance if there's anybody in the world dealing with this stupidness called electronic harassment, right? Electronic harassment, and it goes from phone hacking straight to interfering with people's private parts in the privacy of their bedroom when they're single and no human being is next to them, right? That is how far it goes, right? So I would like assistance in treating with a situation if there's anybody in the world going through this. And so there's the physical aspect and the mental, psychological aspect. I don't know if anybody would have been able to go through this thing and still be alive. That is the extent it is.